Hi, this is Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches, and today I was just going to make a quick little video. Let's see here, what should I do first? I have had a few people make some comments about what certain slang or like crochet terms mean. And you know what? I think I do get caught up in that whole idea of, you know, just assuming everybody knows some of these terms and words. So I will put a link in the description to a website that I found that will describe a bunch of these. But I thought I would pull some of the main ones that I've used and hear others use. One term I've heard people use is bi-stitchual. And that is someone who knows how to knit and crochet. Also, referring to one's stash is what we got going on back here. Or destashing is getting rid of some of your yarn, or unstashing. So that this is the type of stash knitters and crocheters are talking about. Big pile of yarn. FO is a finished object. FOTH or FOTH is fresh off the hook. Now I personally never used that term or have heard it before. Frog or froggy. Now I did use this recently in a video when I talked about how I frogged my skimming stone shawl like 3 times. Frogging comes about from the term or the sound that you would say if you were ripping it out. Rip it, rip it, rip it. Frog. So that's how that one came, is if you're ripping out rows and rows and rows. So I think that one's funny. I like the frogging one. I personally don't love this term, but I'm not, you know, completely offended by it. Hooker is someone who crochets a hook, a crochet hook, a proud crocheter. HOTH is hot off the hook, so it kind of partners up with fresh off the hook. Let's see here. Stash, I mentioned that up here in destashing or unstashing. I have this list. I just printed it off and I bolded the ones that I think. Pigs. This one's funny, although I don't use it. A pig is a project in a grocery bag. I guess that it's like one of those things where if you're carrying it around in one of your project bags, but then you've started a new project and you got to take it out of the project bag and you want to use your project bag, so then you start putting it in grocery bags. So it's not necessarily a positive thing because it's kind of been downgraded. It's not something you're carrying around anymore. I thought that one was funny. A pig. A toad, which I've never heard this either, is a trashed object abandoned in disgust. Never going back to it. And I actually had one of those. I just, you know, you work on it and then it's just not working. I almost put my skimming stone shawl in the toad. Like I was like, you know what, I'm gonna rip this out and why am I gonna do it again? The only reason why I keep trying is because I bought that pattern. UFO is an unfinished object. This may turn into a toad. I think that's funny. Whip, and I've used that quite a few times in my titles, and that is a work in progress. Then there's variations of the whip. They have whim, which is a work in your mind, your crochet to-do list. And then they have a whiz, which I would say WIVSP, a work in very slow progress, which could turn into a UFO. So it's, I do have one of those. This one I really like, and I use this term a lot. Yarn barf, also known as a yarn vomit. And that's where you center pull from a skein and just a huge chunk comes out. I've also saw a post once where a gal, I think she had to have like a, you know, a generic red heart skein, and she pulled the center pull and a chunk came out, and she's like, oh look, my yarn, my yarn had a baby. Because the yarn barf was almost, you know, as big as the skein of yarn. So that's a yarn barf, and I really like that. A yarn bomb is different than a yarn barf. And a yarn bomb is when you cover a thing in crochet. So it could be like a lamppost, a bench, a tree, a banister. I have been tempted to crochet a covering for my toilet, and my husband says he draws the line at that. I don't like toilets, and I feel like they need to be closed and they need to be covered. They need to have like one of those woolly things on the back and something on the seat and one of those under the mat, and it should be closed at all time. Not just the seat, the whole thing. And so I thought, I might like my toilet more if I yarn bombed it. The last one, I have never used this term, but I do like it, and it's called a YART, a Yarn Acquisition Road Trip. Now, I've taken a couple of those, and I really do enjoy them. In Wisconsin, where I live, in Oshkosh, there is no longer a yarn store. So if you would like to go yarn shopping, you either go to Appleton, to Iris's, or I believe Fond du Lac has one, but I can't remember what it's called, and that's like another 20 to 30-minute trip. And then Sheboygan, is it Sheboygan? I think it's Sheboygan. No. Yes, no, yes. Yes. Has a couple yarn shops, or one's in Sheboygan, one's Sheboygan Falls. Magpie, Iris's, The Lost Sheep. These are stores I've talked about, but that's typically what I've done, is I've got in the car with Tammy and we drove off on a little bit of yarn adventuring. Sometimes I do it with just my kids. I head up to Appleton because they have a Joann's and a Michael's. We don't have a Michael's in Oshkosh. And I actually need to go on a YART right now because a few of you have asked if I would review that new Peyton Karin yarn, and I don't have it here in Oshkosh. I'd have to go to Appleton. So always set yourself a budget when you go on a YART. So I thought I'd mention those. Like I said, I'll put a link in the description to the full because there's a whole bunch more. There's like 40 of them. Some of them I've never heard of before, or don't necessarily make sense to me. But there we are. Oh, this is funny. A sable. A stash accumulated beyond life expectancy. Now, I'm young yet. Even though I do have a lot of gray right here, which makes me look like I'm balding, I am still in my 30s, just barely. So I believe that my stash yet has not turned into a sable. So I thought that was cute. Little, but like I said, the reason I mentioned it is because I had said frog in a video, and someone was like, what the heck does that mean? And I thought, you know what, I'll share some of those. Also, I thought I would say share a little bit of a yarn. Now this time I opened it up because the last video was real loud. So I got some yarn mail from a dear friend, or a dear YouTuber friend, a new YouTuber friend. I've never met her in real life. I watch a lot of her videos, so I feel like I know her and her kids, and I'm sure she feels the same. But it's Karin from Happiness is Homemade. Check out her videos. I'll put a link in the description. That's the second thing to remember. She sent me some happy mail because it was just my birthday. Wasn't that nice? So I started opening it, but then I thought I would just quick open it here and let her see me opening it. Kind of like if you were to be friends in real life. Okay, so she made me this cute little card. Happy birthday, Summer. That's cute. And she's just wishing me an awesome birthday, which I sure did. This time, I'm putting this video up after. Maybe I can hang this up on my wall of art. I'm posting this video up after I put my birthday video up. She wrapped it up. Ooh, some tissue with some little stickies. And let's see. It's a Dragonfly Notion / pencil pouch. Oh, and she made a cute little tag. Oh, it is super cute. Look at that. It's like, it is a dragonfly. Hey. And, so yeah, you can put pencils or notions in there. It is super cute. I love this yarn. I feel like it matches the yarn I used on my daughter's mermaid tail. Huh. I wonder if, well, I'm sure it's I love this yarn, because it does remind me of that. And then there's a little something inside that I'm opening. Let's see what it is. Ooh! There's stitch markers. And you know what's really awesome? I don't have any yet. I just have those little plastic ones you get from Joann's. They're super cute, and they match. They match the little yarn case. And I'm gonna guess she painted this button, because I've seen her talk about that before, and the button does look painted. Super cute, very thoughtful gift. I can't wait to use the stitch markers on my Skimming Stone shawl. Thank you very much for that. And just one second, real quick. Okay, I'm back. So I had a little emergency, not really, just dramatics with the kids. But anyway, thank you so much, Karin. It's a very thoughtful gift. I can't wait to use the stitch markers as I'm looking at them. Flinny, do you want to say hi? The final thing that I'm going to say in this video is I wanted to mention a new crochet crafter, you're being a weirdo, yarn person that I found. Her name's Christy Cook, and she is Teadoddles. That is her YouTube channel name. I'll put a link in the description. And she seems like a real fun gal. She just started her YouTube. Doesn't have a lot of videos out yet, but she did some hobby lobbying, shopping, and she talks about crochet and other crafts. So I thought, hey, I'll add her to my list. I'll add her to my list of folks I'm watching. So check her out. Go over there, say hi, like her videos, subscribe. I know y'all are super loving, wonderful, fun people. I mean, I just started this barely in January, and a lot of y'all started subscribing and liking and commenting to me. So, yeah. So if you're looking for a new YouTube, a new gal to talk about crochet, and she's from the South, so it's nice to hear her accent. I used to be living in the South before we moved up here to Wisconsin, so it's nice to hear it. So check her out. Christy Cook with Teadoddles, and like I said, I'll put a link in the description. But that's it. That's all I got from my video. Thought I'd share a little crochet slang, open up a little birthday present, and talk about another gal that's chatting on YouTube about yarn. There's not enough of us. All right, well, until then, happy crafting. Say bye, Flinny. Oh, look.
Bye.
Look, my son lost both of his bottom teeth. Isn't that exciting? So did you get money from the Tooth Fairy?
Yes.
How much did you get?
5.
5. All right. That's cute. This is my baby, and he's starting to lose his teeth. Oh, my gosh. All right, so I better go. Until then, y'all, happy crafting. Bye.
Bye.